Hi, hello, how are you doing? I hope everything is fine. Today I decided that I'll be redrawing my old The Last of Us comic I've made roughly 5 years ago and never finished because life happened and I couldn't be bothered to finish it, and this drawing has been hanging out on my wall for the past 5 years and I just couldn't leave it. So I snapped this picture of it and put it in Photoshop, adjusted it a little bit, and as you can see, the proportions for Joel weren't too correct, and I played around with the perspective tool and I wasn't too happy with the background, so I just put some base colors down to see how it will look like and moved on to the characters. Joel's position seemed a little bit too stiff, so I resketched it and moved on to drawing line work for Ellie. Now, I'm not a big fan of line works in digital media. In drawing form, I think it's really easy to do it. It's more natural, but in digital, it just doesn't look good. It just looks a bit stiff. It looks boring. But I went ahead and started to do it more, and you already see the comic, like the first original picture. Ellie's a crazy girl, and I was a really big fan of The Last of Us. So I can say that I was pretty obsessed with the game. So one day I was just thinking that this would be a really funny idea to draw, and I made a comic strip. And Ellie just decapitated a clicker, the main enemy in the game, and is really proud to show Joel that she's independent. And she's like, "Ooh, Joel, I decapitated that clicker." And Joel is just not having it. And also there's a funny gag in the background where a clicker is like shocked that that happened to a friend of his, and I get it, clickers don't see. But you know, it's just a gag, it doesn't have to be up to any lore or anything. And you can see me now redoing the arms again because I messed up the proportions on it, I made them too big. And I separated Joel and Ellie a little bit for the composition of the image. I was looking for softer brushes for the background and added a little bit of foreground elements like leaves and the log to just break up the image. I couldn't leave it like really flat. I used a few references for the background because I'm not a really big background drawer, and mainly I was using these pictures or these environments from Gravity Falls. I really like how they made the whole aesthetic of the trees and how they really had a mood in their environment, and I really wanted to capture that because The Last of Us is really about the mood. As you walk around those post-apocalyptic woods, it really makes you feel something, like desolation and the beauty of nature. And I wanted to capture that in this comic book form, so I added a lot of vegetation, a lot of foliage, and wanted to make a sunset scene. Therefore I separated the foliage with the background and added the three primary colors that I was using, which is the brown for the bark of the trees, the green for the leaves, and the ground and the stones. I was using clipping masks for the line work because if I would have let it to be a black line work, it would have just looked too dark, and that wouldn't have made the picture any favors. Also, I decided to add a little bit of a sunset with the sun coming directly from the back, far back of the trees. You can't really see the sun, but it might have been obscured by the foliage. And I went on and added more of the details to make it to really sell this, even though it's gonna probably be obscured by the speech bubbles. But it's fine. It just should look alright, doesn't have to be alright. That's what art is about. It just has to look alright. So I went on, colored in Ellie, found the alright skin tone for her, and really had to pay attention with the whole illumination situation, because you'll see in the end I really couldn't figure out the background too well. So I had to improvise a little bit and added just basic colors for her shirt. Even made a little logo on her shirt with the palm trees. And Joel's shirt was just so annoying to make. And went on and added also the basic colors for the decapitated clicker. Then I went in to add the shadows, again using a clipping mask for the line work. I just couldn't let it be plain black line work, and it would have just looked too boring, so I colored in the line work with their respective colors, like brown if the line work if the shirt was brown, and blue if the shirt was blue. If you use Photoshop you would probably understand it, if not it doesn't really have to mean anything. But yeah, I really like The Last of Us and I drew this. I never posted it anywhere, I just made it for myself, because I thought that would be really funny, and it's been hanging out on my wall, and now I finally have a concept for the line work and overall process and workflow in a digital media, and I really wanted to see how this picture would look like in a finished state, so therefore I decided to draw it. And as you can see, I went into the blood puddle to make it more realistic, and I think it turned out okay. And then I finally managed to add in the speech bubbles. Luckily in Photoshop you can really add speech bubbles quite easily. I just had to make the thought bubble for Joel with selection tools, but it wasn't too hard. And also tweaked the background a little bit, added the more warm color for the background to make it to really sell the atmosphere. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is the end result, which I think it turned out okay. Something is missing, I don't know, maybe it's too bright and too dark. It doesn't really have a balance, I don't know. Something is missing. Maybe you guys can tell me in the comments down below what is not okay about this picture. Overall I'm not too satisfied, but it's okay. It's a nice little fan art. I blurred the foreground a little bit, added some noise to bring the whole picture, to give the whole picture the same aesthetic, a little bit of vignette, and that's it. Quick look at the old one and at the new one to see how it looks like beside each other. I mean, I think it's an improvement. It's not, it doesn't have the same feeling as a traditional artwork would have, but you know, it's a comic strip. It's funny, it's a gag. I hope you chuckled a little bit. If you played The Last of Us, let me know if you like it or not. Hey, if Rule 34 exists, this can exist too. I don't think I disservice The Last of Us. And hopefully the second one will come out sooner than later, because these days we're basically living in The Last of Us, we don't really have to wait for it. But you know, this is a nice reminder of the game that came out like 8 years ago, 7 years ago, and I finally redrew it 5 years ago after I played it and was obsessed over it overall. Alright, this was for me for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're okay. Hope everything is safe. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed it. I might redraw this drawing in 5 years from now and see if I can improve, if I improved. And hit that bell, Lenny. I know if you hit that bell, Lenny. Just hit it. It's not that hard, okay? Thank you for watching this episode. I might redraw some more stuff if I find anything interesting. Give this video a like, subscribe, hope you're doing good, and enjoy the rest of your day, your night. Put on some lo-fi, start drawing. Take care. Goodbye. Bye. See you. Bye.